Have you ever taken food from the fridge and reheated it without a second thought? Most of us do this almost every day. It feels practical. It feels responsible. And it feels healthy. But some reheated foods don't behave the way we expect. Under heat, certain foods quietly change their structure. Proteins shift. Fats become unstable. Natural compounds can turn into something the body struggles to handle. This kind of change doesn't cause instant discomfort. It works slowly, silently. Over time, it can strain digestion. It can reduce how clearly the brain functions. And it can weaken the body's natural resilience. What makes this more concerning is how ordinary these foods are. They sit in your fridge right now. Foods many people believe are safe and nourishing. Doctors and nutrition researchers have raised concerns about reheating specific items, not because they are bad foods, but because reheating changes how the body responds to them. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. Today, we'll look at 5 common foods that deserve extra caution after reheating. And we'll explain why, using simple science and real kitchen habits. So before your next meal, let's start with the first food on the list. Number 1. Reheating spinach. Spinach is widely known as a healthy, everyday vegetable. Many people choose it to support heart health and energy. You'll find spinach in soups, pasta, omelets, and stir-fries. It feels like a safe choice for aging bodies. Spinach is rich in vitamins A, C, and K. It also contains iron and protective antioxidants. But one common habit quietly changes how spinach behaves. That habit is reheating spinach after storage. Spinach naturally contains high levels of nitrates. In their natural form, nitrates are not harmful. They support blood flow and help regulate blood pressure. They may even improve physical performance. The concern begins after cooking and storage, especially when spinach is left cooling slowly. When cooked spinach sits for hours or days, changes begin. Cold temperatures do not stop this process completely. During storage, nitrates can convert into nitrites. This transformation is invisible and has no smell. When spinach is reheated, especially at high heat, another change occurs. Nitrites can further convert into nitrosamines. Nitrosamines place extra strain on the body. They are linked to long-term cellular stress. Research has associated nitrosamines with digestive system damage. They are also studied for their effects on brain health. This damage does not appear immediately. It develops slowly and quietly over time. That is what makes this habit concerning. You may feel fine while the strain continues underneath. For older adults, this matters even more. Aging bodies process toxins less efficiently. Cell repair slows with age. The nervous system becomes more sensitive. What felt harmless at 40 can feel very different at 60. Small exposures can have a stronger impact. Long-term low-level strain can increase inflammation. Inflammation is linked to reduced mental clarity. Some studies suggest inflammation affects memory and focus. This is especially relevant during healthy aging. Let's look at a familiar example. You cook a large spinach soup on Sunday afternoon. You store it in the fridge for later meals. On Tuesday, you reheat a bowl in the microwave. It smells fine and tastes normal. But chemical changes may already have occurred. Nitrosamines can form during storage and reheating. You don't see them. You don't taste them. If this habit repeats weekly, the strain accumulates. Month after month, year after year. This does not mean spinach is dangerous. Fresh spinach remains highly nutritious. The issue is not the food itself. The issue is how it is reheated and stored. Simple changes can reduce this quiet risk. Try eating spinach fresh whenever possible. Light cooking is preferable to repeated reheating. If leftovers contain spinach, consider eating them cold. Spinach salads or chilled dishes are safer options. If reheating is necessary, avoid high heat. Use gentle stovetop warming instead of a microwave. Never reheat spinach more than once. Store spinach dishes promptly in airtight containers. Consume leftovers within 1 or 2 days. Avoid leaving cooked spinach at room temperature. These small habits protect the body's resilience. They help spinach remain a health ally. Awareness allows better daily decisions. No fear is required. Now that you understand why spinach needs caution, let's move on to the second food many people reheat without thinking. Number 2. Reheating potatoes. Potatoes feel familiar, filling, and comforting. They appear on tables across cultures and generations. They are affordable, versatile, and easy to prepare. Mashed, roasted, baked, or added to stews. For many households, potatoes are a regular staple, especially for quick meals and leftovers. But potatoes change quietly after cooking and cooling. This change often goes unnoticed in daily routines. When potatoes are freshly cooked, their starch is soft. The body digests it with little effort. As potatoes cool, their starch structure begins to shift. This process is called starch retrogradation. The starch becomes more resistant to digestion. In small amounts, this can support gut bacteria. But problems can arise with storage and reheating, especially when potatoes are handled carelessly. When cooked potatoes cool slowly, risk increases. This is worse at room temperature. The danger grows when potatoes are wrapped tightly in foil. Foil traps moisture and limits airflow. This creates an environment where harmful bacteria can thrive, even without visible spoilage. Some bacteria produce toxins that strain the nervous system. These toxins cannot be seen or smelled. Reheating does not always remove them, especially with uneven microwave heating. This is what makes reheated potatoes concerning. The food may look and taste normal, yet quiet stress may be added to the body. Over time, that stress can accumulate. For older adults, this matters more. The body's defenses weaken naturally with age. Digestion becomes less efficient. The immune response slows. What the body once handled easily may now cause strain, especially with repeated exposure. Research highlights the gut and brain connection. Long-term gut irritation can affect mental clarity. Inflammation plays a role in cognitive resilience. And inflammation often begins silently. Reheated potatoes handled improperly may contribute to this process. Not immediately, but gradually. Consider a common situation. You bake several potatoes for dinner. The extras are wrapped in foil. They cool slowly on the counter. Then they go into the fridge. 2 days later, you reheat one quickly. The microwave seems convenient. The potato tastes fine. Nothing feels wrong at the moment. But the conditions allowed unwanted bacterial activity. The reheating may not fully neutralize the risk. Repeating this habit weekly can add strain. Small amounts over long periods matter. This does not mean potatoes should be avoided. They remain nutritious when handled correctly. The solution lies in safer preparation habits. Simple steps reduce quiet risk. Cook only what you plan to eat fresh. Avoid cooking excess when possible. If storing leftovers, cool potatoes quickly. Use shallow containers to release heat. Never wrap potatoes in foil for storage. Choose airtight containers instead. Refrigerate promptly after cooling. Do not leave cooked potatoes out for hours. When reheating, use the oven or stovetop. These methods heat more evenly. Avoid reheating potatoes more than once. Discard leftovers older than 2 days. If anything smells unusual, do not take chances. Trust caution over convenience. These habits protect energy and digestion. They support long-term resilience. For those focused on healthy aging, details matter. Small daily choices shape future well-being. If you're finding this information helpful, take a moment to comment, too, below. It helps me know you're watching and learning with me. And if you haven't subscribed yet, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. New videos focus on simple habits that support independence and clarity as we age. Now that you understand why reheated potatoes need caution, let's continue with the next food many people reheat without thinking. Number 3. Reheating eggs. Eggs are one of the most trusted foods in many kitchens. They feel simple, affordable, and nourishing. People rely on eggs for strength and energy, especially as protein needs increase with age. Eggs provide high-quality protein. They also contain choline, which supports brain function. Scrambled, boiled, baked, or mixed into dishes, eggs feel dependable. They often appear in meal prep routines. But reheating cooked eggs can quietly change how they affect the body, especially when high heat is used. When eggs are first cooked, their proteins denature. This process makes them easier to digest. It is natural and beneficial. The body handles this well. Problems arise during reheating, particularly with microwaves or uneven heat. Under intense reheating, egg proteins tighten further. This makes digestion more difficult. The texture becomes rubbery. But the deeper concern is chemical change. Egg yolks contain natural cholesterol. Cholesterol itself is not the enemy. However, reheating exposes cholesterol to oxidation. This creates compounds called oxysterols. Oxysterols increase inflammatory stress in the body. Inflammation affects both heart and brain health. Over time, repeated exposure matters, especially for older adults. As we age, fat metabolism slows. The body clears oxidized compounds less efficiently. Blood vessels lose flexibility. The brain becomes more sensitive to inflammation. This creates a quiet vulnerability, one that builds without obvious warning signs. Let's consider a common example. You boil several eggs on Sunday afternoon. They are stored for convenience during the week. On Wednesday, you microwave one quickly. It seems like a smart protein choice. The egg looks fine. It tastes normal. But reheating has altered the yolk. Oxidized compounds may already be present. This does not cause immediate discomfort. The effect is subtle. Repeated weekly, the strain accumulates. Small exposures over years matter. This may affect energy levels. It may also affect mental clarity. This does not mean eggs should be avoided. Eggs remain nutrient-dense foods. The key is how they are handled. Fresh preparation makes a difference. Eat eggs soon after cooking when possible. This reduces unnecessary chemical change. If eggs are prepared ahead, eat them cold. Cold eggs work well in salads and sandwiches. If reheating is unavoidable, use low heat. Stovetop warming is gentler than microwaving. Avoid reheating eggs more than once. Multiple reheating cycles increase strain. Always store cooked eggs promptly in the fridge. Consume them within a few days. If an egg smells unusual, discard it. Trust caution over convenience. These small choices protect long-term resilience. They support steady energy and clearer thinking. Now that you understand why reheated eggs deserve caution, let's move on to the next food many people reheat without concern. Number 4. Reheating chicken. Chicken is one of the most common proteins in many homes. It is often seen as lean, safe, and reliable. Families choose chicken for balance and simplicity. It appears in roasts, grills, and baked meals. Many people cook chicken in large batches. Leftovers feel convenient for busy days. At first glance, this habit seems practical. But reheating chicken can quietly strain the body. When chicken is first cooked, its proteins change. This makes them easier for digestion. The body can usually handle this well, especially when the food is fresh. The problem begins during reheating, particularly with microwaves or high oven heat. Uneven heat causes further protein changes. The proteins tighten and become more rigid. This makes chicken harder to digest. The effect is subtle but real. You might notice heaviness after eating, or feel unusually tired. For younger bodies, this may pass unnoticed. For older adults, the strain is stronger. As we age, digestive enzymes decrease. Stomach acid production also slows. Food once tolerated easily now demands more effort. This can reduce daily comfort and energy. Beyond digestion, there is another concern. Repeated reheating creates inflammatory compounds. These compounds are called advanced glycation end products. They are often shortened to AGEs. AGEs form when proteins and fats face repeated high heat. Reheating accelerates this process. AGEs increase low-grade inflammation in the body. This inflammation is often invisible. Over time, chronic inflammation weakens resilience. It affects joints, blood vessels, and the brain. Research links inflammation to reduced mental clarity. It also relates to slower physical recovery. This matters greatly with aging. The body becomes less flexible under stress. Let's look at a common example. You roast several chicken breasts on Sunday. They are stored for easy lunches. On Tuesday, one is reheated in the microwave. It feels rubbery and slightly dry. That texture change signals deeper damage. The proteins have been stressed by reheating. You may not feel ill immediately. The effect builds quietly. If this habit repeats weekly, strain accumulates. Small stressors add up over years. For older adults managing joint stiffness or fatigue, this matters. Inflammation can amplify existing discomfort. It may also affect focus and memory, especially when combined with other daily stresses. This does not mean chicken should be avoided. Chicken remains a nutritious food. The key is how it is prepared and reused. Mindful handling protects its benefits. If reheating is necessary, choose gentle methods. Low stovetop heat is preferable. Avoid very high oven temperatures. Never reheat chicken more than once. Better yet, use leftover chicken cold. Cold chicken works well in salads and wraps. Another option is cooking smaller portions. This reduces the need for storage. Fresh meals place less strain on the body. They support better digestion and energy. The lesson here is simple. How we handle food matters as much as what we eat. With age, small adjustments become powerful. They protect strength and clarity. If this information feels helpful, please comment below. It lets me know you're watching and learning with me. And if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing and turning on notifications. New videos focus on calm, practical habits for healthy aging. Now that we've covered chicken, let's move on to the final food many people reheat without concern. Number 5. Reheating mushrooms. Mushrooms are often praised for their rich, earthy flavor. They add depth and satisfaction to many meals. Many people enjoy mushrooms for their meaty texture. They are popular in soups, stir-fries, and omelets. Mushrooms are also valued for their nutrition. They contain fiber, B vitamins, and antioxidants. They also provide beta-glucans. These compounds support immune balance. Because of this, mushrooms feel like a smart choice, especially for those focused on healthy aging. But mushrooms behave differently when reheated. They are more sensitive than most vegetables. This sensitivity affects more than taste. It affects how the body responds to them. Mushrooms contain complex proteins and delicate enzymes. They also contain fragile fats. When cooked fresh, these components break down gently. Nutrients become available and flavor develops. Reheating disrupts this balance. Especially with high or repeated heat, proteins change into tougher forms. Enzymes lose their natural structure. Digestion becomes more demanding. This can leave you feeling heavy or sluggish. For older adults, this effect is stronger. Digestive systems already work more slowly. What once felt light now feels uncomfortable. The change is subtle but persistent. The concern goes deeper than digestion. Storage also plays a role. Mushrooms trap moisture easily. Plastic containers make this worse. Moisture encourages oxidation during reheating. Oxidation creates stress inside the body. This is known as oxidative stress. It accelerates aging at the cellular level. Oxidative stress increases inflammation. It weakens immunity and recovery. Over time, it affects heart health. It can also affect memory and focus. The body works harder to maintain balance. Energy is diverted toward defense. This matters more as we age. Resilience naturally declines over time. Let's look at a familiar example. You cook a creamy mushroom risotto for dinner. It includes button and oyster mushrooms. The meal tastes rich and comforting. There are leftovers for tomorrow. The next day, you reheat a portion. You use the microwave for convenience. The mushrooms now feel rubbery. They release water and lose flavor. The texture feels off. The taste feels dull. These changes signal deeper breakdown. Proteins and fats have shifted again. The body must now work harder. Digestion becomes less efficient. For someone with sensitive digestion, this matters. It may worsen bloating or fatigue. For others, the effect is slower. It builds quietly over time. Repeated habits add strain. Small stressors accumulate. This does not mean mushrooms are harmful. Fresh mushrooms are very beneficial. The issue is reheating and storage. Preparation determines the outcome. Simple changes reduce quiet strain. Store mushrooms properly after cooking. Use sealed glass containers. Avoid containers that trap moisture. Dry storage helps stability. If reheating is necessary, use low stovetop heat. Avoid microwaves when possible. Heat gently and evenly. Never reheat mushrooms multiple times. Better yet, enjoy leftovers cold. Cold mushrooms work well in salads. Olive oil and herbs preserve flavor. Nutrition remains more stable. Another option is portion control. Cook only what you plan to eat. This avoids storage altogether. Fresh meals reduce digestive demand. These habits protect energy and comfort. They support immune balance. Mushrooms can remain a powerful ally, but only when handled with care. As we reach the end, pause for a moment. Think about your daily habits. None of these foods are dangerous alone. They are part of normal kitchens. The issue is repetition, and how small choices add up. Reheating spinach, potatoes, eggs, chicken, or mushrooms feels harmless. But the body remembers patterns. Over time, quiet strain affects resilience. It affects clarity and comfort. Healthy aging is not about perfection. It is about awareness. Gentler preparation protects long-term well-being. Small changes matter more than we think. Which food surprised you the most today? Was it spinach, potatoes, eggs, chicken, or mushrooms? Leave a comment below and share one habit you plan to change. Your experiences help others learn too. If you found this video helpful, consider liking and subscribing. New videos focus on calm, practical habits for independence and clarity. Thank you for spending this time with me. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.